So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K25 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another episode of our offseason rebuild series, and today it's going to be the Orlando Magic. Last week, the Magic season officially came to an end at the hand of the Boston Celtics. They ended up losing the series in 5 games. Now, to be quite honest, they were never supposed to win that series in the first place. It has certainly been an up and down season in Orlando. They dealt with a whole lot of injuries, and while I do truly believe if Jalen Suggs and Mo Wagner were playing in that Celtics series, I still don't think they would have won. Now, it would have been more competitive, I will give them that, but they were probably never going to beat the Celtics. I think they are a good team. They are certainly on the rise. Their rebuild has kind of started to come together a little bit, but this is a team that is still a couple pieces away, in my opinion. Paolo's a complete superstar. He's going to be really good for a really long time. Franz Wagner is also going to be an absolute stud, but I do think this team definitely needs some offensive help. My goal today is to obviously rebuild this team, get them a championship, and we'll go from there. A couple things. I have no idea what date you're seeing this video. I mentioned in Friday's video last week that I am pre-recording all of these videos for this week. I'm going to be gone basically the entire week, so I don't know what day you're seeing this. My plan this week, just to let all of you know, that there's going to be 3 offseason rebuilds and 2 LeBron-era rebuilds. More and more teams have been getting eliminated, so I'm going to take a week and kind of do 3 of these instead of the normal 2. So, yeah, I have no idea what day you're seeing this. My apologies. But excited for this one today. Future in Orlando is certainly bright if they do play their cards right. Let's get into it. All right, we're going to go ahead and discuss this Orlando roster, talk about some of the guys I see as long-term pieces and some of the guys that I don't think should really be on this team whatsoever. So, as I mentioned, this is obviously one of the stronger defensive teams in all of basketball. I think they finished as a top 2 defensive team, and I think they were about 30th on offense. So, there's obviously some flaws with this team. They have a really good two-headed monster here at the top with Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner, but ultimately they're 22 and 23 years old. They are certainly going to need a little bit more time to develop, and they, again, are definitely going to need a lot more offensive help. So, position by position, starting out here at the point guard spot. Jalen Suggs was very missed in this series, not only for his defensive abilities, but obviously what he can provide offensively as well. Again, as I mentioned in the intro, I do think it is a little bit more of a competitive series if he does play. Ultimately, he's never going to be the game-changing piece that decides a series. So, Suggs is really good. I don't think he's a guy they're going to move on from, nor do I think he should be a guy they move on from. I think he's going to be a very nice addition moving forward with this core. Behind him is going to be Anthony Black. I think, a lot of his youth and inexperience kind of showed against the Celtics. Ultimately, he is only 21 years old. He's already an 80 overall here. He's going to be a very nice player for us throughout this rebuild. Cole Anthony, he talks a lot, certainly doesn't back it up with the numbers. I think he had, more notable quotes than points in the series, but, he's 79 overall. He's kind of the 3rd guy we have at the point guard spot right now, and we'll honestly just see what we do with him here today. Corey Joseph. I want to give some credit to Corey Joseph. For a veteran player that, I don't really know how much longer he has left in the league. I think he had a pretty good series. Now, he's not putting up 30 points a game or anything like that, but I think he did a really good job defensively, like pretty much everybody on this Magic team did. And I think he did a pretty good job at facilitating this Magic offense. Again, there's very limited shooting on this team right now, so it's hard for him to rack up the assist numbers, but Corey Joseph did a pretty good job. Hell, my fucking center, Kristaps Porzingis, can't even post him up. All right, talk about bums. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I think the only thing that Celtics fans and Magic fans agreed on throughout this series is that KCP is an absolute bum. I liked this signing last offseason. I genuinely thought he could be a really nice veteran addition to this team. And I don't know if he's a Nikola Jokic merchant. I don't know what it is, but he was not good, has not been good, was complete 2-pack of ass throughout the 5-game series against the Celtics. And yeah, he's certainly not in my long-term plans. I doubt he's in the Magic's long-term plans in real life. We'll see. Gary Harris saw the floor a bit, didn't really do too much. He's 30 years old. I don't really have any sort of, 3-year plans with him. All right, let's talk about Franz. Franz is an incredibly gifted basketball player. He's 23 years old. He's already pushing a 90 overall. Of course, he's already on a long-term contract. The biggest thing for Franz moving forward, I think, is going to be finding his shot and consistency at that. He's absolutely elite when he's driving to the basket. He has some incredible touch, but ultimately that 3-point shot is just not where it needs to be. And correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he have a really good 3-point shooting season in his rookie year? Yeah, he did. Sophomore year was good as well, and then it fell off a goddamn cliff in the past 2 seasons. So, the scoring is going up. Everything else is, trending in the right direction, but some of those shooting splits just need to get a little bit better as he, of course, develops throughout his NBA career. So, I have no plans of moving on from Franz today. He's going to be an incredible player for us, but again, it's kind of the natural progression of NBA stars. You have to continue getting better at things. Tristan da Silva, I don't know if he even saw the floor in the series. Caleb Houston played a little bit. He's a nice role player. You got Jed Howard here as well. So, some nice youth on this team, obviously. The That's kind of what happens when you go through a rebuild for 8 years or whatever it was. But I do think, again, depth is definitely a strong thing with this team. Paolo Banchero is incredible. Paolo Banchero is going to be a superstar in this league for a very long time. He's only 22 years old. He's already 90 overall. He is obviously the face of this franchise. And I really hope they don't screw up their window with another #1 overall pick. It's obviously happened twice already. And I do think that he is going to be a Magic for a very, very long time. And my one hope is that they're able to put the correct and the best possible players around him to hopefully maximize said window. Jonathan Isaac's an elite defensive player. There's not a lot there offensively in terms of finding his own shot. He can be a bit of a spot-up shooter at times. I'm not really sure what we're going to do with him here today. And then finally, the center spot here. Wendell Carter Jr., I thought, showed some things outside of fouling people really hard. He's 26 years old. He's a 79 overall. It feels like we kind of know what player he is. I don't see him taking a massive leap one way or another, but he's okay in center option for us. Goga Batazde just is one of the most uncoordinated people I've ever seen in my life. And then again, Mo Wagner's here. He's obviously injured right now. He will certainly be back for us next season. And again, I do think would have helped out this Magic team quite a bit in that series. Not that it's going to change the end result, but I do think he would have been beneficial. So that's the Magic team. Of course, their best players are very young, and that kind of goes without being said. You look at the past 5 years for Orlando, they haven't been traditionally great, but playoffs the last 2 years, first round exits in both seasons. I do think this is a team that, if healthy, could potentially make an Eastern Conference Finals push next year. So let's get into it. Obviously, doing an unrealistic rebuild here today. We are going to very much help out this team. We need to find somebody who can not only dish out the ball, we need to find players that can shoot said ball. So we'll send through the lottery. We're not going to have anything here. It's going to be the Pelicans winning the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. Then you get the Trailblazers, Jazz, Hornets, and then Wizards. We'll take a look here at staff signings. I think Jamal Mosley has, various opinions about him in terms of Magic fans. At least that's what I've seen on Twitter. I think some people like him quite a bit. He's obviously done some good things with this Magic team, and I think there are other people that say your rotations kind of suck. I'm somewhere in the middle. He didn't really impress me one way or the other. To be completely honest with you, I think he was my Coach of the Year pick because I thought Orlando was going to be a top 3 seed heading into this season, but obviously injuries derailed that. So I'm going to keep him for now. The ratings are pretty good. We'll kind of go on a year-to-year basis, which is what I do with most guys that I'm a little unsure of. So it is the 2025 NBA draft. We have the 17th overall pick, also have 24 from the Denver Nuggets, along with 2 future seconds. Now, as I mentioned when going over this team, the depth in this group is already pretty elite. I don't think we need 2 first-round picks. I think if we maybe combined all these draft picks and tried to maybe move up into the top 10, I think that could be a little bit more beneficial for us. So let's just see here quickly, what we are working with. Somebody has like the 8th, 9th overall pick, something like that. I'd certainly be willing to try to find a deal for it. Let's see here. 7th from Brooklyn. Again, I don't want to give up any future first, so if I can just get this done with seconds, I'd be more than willing to do that. So they're not going to do 7. Let's find 8 potentially, and we'll kind of just go down the list from there. I'll do 9. All right, we have the 9th overall pick. We are going to be on the clock now. Take a look at the summary. Ace Bailey actually went #1 overall to New Orleans. Flag, Kadeem Malawak at Will Riley, Liam McNeely. Okay, Gordon Bean could make some sense. We do have a lot of guard depth on this team. I will certainly say that. But again, we have pretty good depth everywhere on this team. So I do think he makes, probably the most sense. I'm a little unsure on Cole Anthony's future. There's a possibility I maybe move Anthony Black to the 2-guard spot. So Gordon Bean, welcome to the team. 6'9" point guard out of BYU. Obviously a guy who can facilitate the basketball a bit. Banchero, Black. I will bring back Corey Joseph. Of course, this is an unrealistic rebuild. And we are going to go ahead and try to maximize everything here. So free agency, I don't think there's a lot of options here for us. I don't think we have any major free agents at this point. It's about doing the 2 things I said, finding players who can not only facilitate the basketball, but can certainly shoot it as well. We're going to hit up the Philadelphia 76ers and see if we can maybe add Tyrese Maxey to this starting 5. He would obviously provide us with another elite scoring option. He's a guy who can shoot the basketball, and although he's not prime Trae Young or Steve Nash in terms of facilitating, he'd be a very welcome addition. So this is what I'm currently offering. I think this package makes sense, at least on our side. I have no idea why Philadelphia would take it, but this is not a realistic rebuild for a reason. So I didn't think that one was going to go through. There's a few other players like maybe Jett Howard I could include in this deal. And then how about a first-round pick in 2027? Will that do it? It will. All right, welcome to the team, Tyrese Maxey. Now, he's a little bit smaller than Jalen Suggs. I have no idea who's maybe the better fit at the shooting guard spot. Maxey's probably a little bit of a better shooter, but size, frame-wise, it probably makes a little bit more sense to have Suggs there. So Maxey stays the same. Suggs stays the same, if not goes down a little bit. I don't know. I guess I'll just play Maxey at the 2-guard spot. Who really cares? Okay, at this point, we have obviously accomplished our biggest goal. not getting Tyrese Maxey and getting rid of KCP. At this point, I'd also like to solidify some bench pieces. I don't think Gary Harris is going to be here. I don't hate the idea of moving Anthony Black to the 2-guard spot, letting Demeen get some backup minutes at the point guard spot. So I think I'm pretty content with these two guys being my shooting guards heading into year number 1. I don't mind having Tristan da Silva back up Franz, Jonathan Isaac for a season backing up at the power forward spot behind Ben Caro. And then I would like to make a little upgrade at the center position. Now, what that is, I'm not really sure. I don't have to force the issue. 2 out of the 3 of these guys are on multi-year deals. But again, I think this could be a really good team in year 1, so might give it a shot. We're hitting up the Los Angeles Clippers, and we're going to see if we can add Ivica Zubac to this team. Zubac has had an absolutely fantastic season. He is a borderline all-star, and he is an 88 overall, which is obviously a major upgrade. So I'm offering up Mo Wagner, Goga Batazda, and Gary Harris in this deal. 3 players that would not really be in the rotation if we were to land Zubac, and let's see what it would take. I'd rather not give up a first. Like, if there's a way to get it done with seconds, I'd certainly do that, but more than likely at least 1 first-round pick probably going out. So 2028, and that's all it takes. All right, at this point, we have a 10-man rotation. It's going to be Zubac and Carter, Banchero and Isaac, Franz Wagner, Tristan da Silva, Tyrese Maxey, Anthony Black, Jalen Suggs, Igor Demeen. So I'm excited for this team. I think we're already in a really good spot with our 2 young stars. We have done nothing but get better this offseason. I'll see you guys at the rotation at the start of year 1. Call me crazy, but is it genuinely insane to believe that this team could win the Eastern Conference, if not a championship in year 1? I mean, you look at this group on paper, I don't see any major weaknesses. We obviously have the star power. We have elite depth, pretty solid coaching. I think anything's truly possible. Now, we'll obviously find that out together pretty quickly, throughout our first 20 games, if this team's the real deal or not, but I'm really excited, man. I am. Jalen Suggs, Tyrese Maxey, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, Ivica Zubac are 1 through 5. Bench unit, Anthony Black, who's up to an 83 overall, taking over as 6th man. Wendell Carter Jr., who now slides into the backup center role, will be our 7th man. Obviously, we drafted Igor Demeen. Still got Jonathan Isaac and Tristan da Silva rounding out this rotation. So I think there's a lot of upside with this team. That kind of goes without being said. Are we better than the best of the best in the East? I don't know that as a certain, but I do think there is a lot of possibilities. I'll see you guys at the end of year number 1. Year 1 ended up being okay. It wasn't anything special. I'm not going to lie to you. We kind of fell short of what I had hoped in terms of expectations. 47-35 is going to be the final record. I didn't love it. I thought this was easily a 50-plus win team. I was wrong. SGA is going to be your MVP. Cooper Flagg, who went to the Trailblazers at number 2. Your rookie of the year. Simon's coming off the bench. Speaking of Anthony Simons, I think he'd be a really nice, realistic fit with Orlando this offseason if they were interested. Giannis wins DPOY, Mobley wins Most Improved, Curry Clutch Player of the Year, and 63 wins gives Mark Daigneault a Coach of the Year. So we'll go over the standings. We are the 4 seed here in the East, which is pretty good news. We'll have Toronto in round 1. Thankfully, the East is not very good. 47 wins gets you a 4 seed, but yeah, I don't know, man. I just thought we had pretty much everybody we needed here. In terms of star power, I thought we had fixed kind of a lot of the issues this team had. Quite honestly, not super impressed with either Anthony Black or Tristan da Silva. Not that they're playing huge roles. Well, actually, Anthony Black's our 6th man. I thought he'd be a little better. I know he's young. I get it, but damn. Okay, let's get into the playoffs. We are taking on the Toronto Raptors here in round 1. It's going to be Josh Giddey. Okay, you got Dylan Harper, Barrett, Barnes, Jakob Poeltl. Got B.I. coming off the bench with Grady Dick, Jacoby Walter. They're a deep team, no denying that. I don't know if we're better. I'd like to think we are, but we'll find out pretty quickly. 2-2, we go up 3-2. We are on to the second round to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers here, a rematch of the 2024 first round series between the two. Obviously, both teams are in a much better spot now, here in this world. This Cleveland team is loaded. There's no denying that whatsoever. So let's see what happens here in the East semis. Quickly go down 2-0. Also drop game 3. We do scrap out a victory in game 4, but we get bounced in 5 games. Now, I will say Cleveland's probably a better team. I don't think anybody's denying that. But I think given the talent this team had, I think it would have made more sense to maybe see them in the Eastern Conference Finals. So, Kyrie, Darius Garland, your Conference Finals MVP. Dallas, good God, nobody loves this game as much, or nobody loves the Dallas Mavericks as much as 2K. It's genuinely kind of amazing. Okay, seeing some retirements here, obviously. We are going to get into the lottery. I did not trade my first-round pick this year, kind of just as, a backup plan. So we are going to have our pick. It's going to be at number 20, so we'll use that to likely select somebody. This is the real question. Do we think it was a youth and inexperience thing, maybe some poor depth, even though I thought our depth was elite, in terms of the reasoning that this team, wasn't, a series contender? Or do we think it was our head coach? I don't know. I think Jamal Mosley certainly has his ups and his downs. I don't consider him one of the truly elite coaches in basketball, but I think I am going to give him one more year. Now, if we fall short of my expectations, whatever that may be, And next season, he's definitely gone at that point. But again, I'm trying to be as fair as possible. This is definitely still a young team, and I think the moves I make this offseason will certainly help. So we have the 20th overall pick. Again, we'll draft somebody there. It's probably going to be a more valuable asset than, whoever I traded the pick for. I got Braden Burries the other day. We don't really need a point guard, but he's clearly, the highest rated player. So he'll probably be traded. I'm going to draft him. If this was a realistic rebuild, probably not, but I know for a fact he's going to be the most valuable player there. Anthony Black, Tristan da Silva, both going to be back on this team for now. Paolo, of course, hitting restricted free agency. He is priority number one, kind of really no doubt about that. The Pistons willing to give him an offer. I'm just going to pay the man and not really think twice about it. So at this point, it is all about finding the weaknesses on this team, which, to be completely frank with you, I didn't really think there were any. So we're going to adjust that and certainly make some changes heading into year number 2. We're swinging a deal here with the Charlotte Hornets. We're sending out Tristan da Silva and Braden Burries, who, of course, we just drafted. And in return, we're going to get ourselves Nick Smith Jr. and a 2027 first-round pick from Charlotte. Now, Nick Smith Jr. is no superstar in this league or anything like that. What's likely going to happen is me moving Anthony Black to the backup small forward spot. Nick Smith Jr. will slide into that backup 2-guard role. So, he's developing nicely. I understand bringing in another, relatively young player may not be the best idea in the world, but I do think he upgrades this team. I truly do genuinely believe that. Then on top of that, he also has a contract extension, so we don't have to worry about free agency this offseason. So, I think that's a pretty good move for us. Does it, immediately boost us up over the Cavs or some of the, best teams at this point in time in the East? I don't know if we're there yet, but again, another offseason in terms of development for some of these younger players should be really beneficial in my opinion. So, something else that's really kind of notable and important is we're kind of in cap space hell. At this point, we really don't have any money. So something that was really important for me is kind of noting that nobody here outside of Anthony Black, of course, who, we'll address at some point, is going to be a free agent next offseason. So at this point, my apologies for the weird cut there. I noticed pretty quickly that I was having some audio issues. It's very, very strange. This microphone and this computer are, relatively new, and I always run into these problems. But I know where the video cut off. I know that I went into pretty good detail about this rotation and how we don't have a lot of free agents this offseason. So at this point, we're just going to run this thing. I think, again, Eastern Conference Finals minimum in terms of, what my expectations are. So see you guys at the rotation. We've discussed it in pretty severe detail at this point. It's very, very clear to myself. I'm sure it's clear to all of you that the talent is here. And I understand we're young, but we're also a pretty experienced group at this point for, an average age of probably about 25 or 26. So I have expectations. They are real expectations, and I am not taking no for an answer in terms of winning games. Jalen Suggs, Tyrese Maxey, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, Ivica Zubac, 1 through 5, remains exactly identical. Anthony Black will remain my 6th man. He's now the backup small forward. Brought in Nick Smith Jr., obviously still have a Gordon Demeen, Wendell Carter Jr., and Jonathan Isaac. So there's no excuses at this point, in my opinion. There really isn't. So let's go win some games. I am very pleased with the way this regular season went. We wrap it up with a record of 64-18. I think this team is in a prime spot to hopefully compete for a championship. Tyrese Halliburton's going to be your MVP. Cameron Boozer, who somehow is in New York. How did they get the 2nd overall pick? That's a shocker. DiVincenzo, now a member of the Clippers, is your 6th man. Wemby wins Depoy. VJ Edgecombe, most improved. Cunningham, clutch player of the year. And our guy, Jamal Mosley, coach of the year. So I'm really hoping we don't have to fire our coach of the year if we do come up short in the playoffs. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I am feeling confident. We won the East pretty convincingly. Here's a look at the West, and we did have the best record in all of basketball. So here are the numbers across the board. Paolo doing his thing. Tyrese Maxey, Franz Wagner, Suggs, Demeen, Zubac, Smith, Black, Carter, and then Isaac. Rebounding department is Zubac, and then assists is going to be Franz Wagner. All right, round 1, us in Charlotte. Okay, yeah, LaMelo's great. I don't think they have nearly enough. We do win the series in 5. We are now moving on to Cleveland. Obviously, this is the team that bounced us last year. I'm not really sure how they're a 4 seed. I would say they are certainly, in terms of talent, above a 4 seed, but we're going to have our hands full here in the East semis. We split the first 2 at home, win game 3 on the road, and game 4. We end up closing them out in 5 games. Beautiful. Now it is MVP Tyrese Halliburton. Oh, my God. How does this happen? Come on, man. All right, well, Hallie has a little bit more help now. That was, not a diss at Pascal Siakam, but Kevin Durant, even at his age, is levels above him, and we sweep them. Okay. We're now taking on Anthony Edwards in the Minnesota Timberwolves here in the NBA Finals. Ant is incredible. He always does really well in this game. The Timberwolves, are, their core around him is pretty solid. There's not really any other superstars here, but obviously there is some pretty decent players. So split the first 2 at home, win game 3 on the road, and game 5, and we are on the verge of a championship here in year 2. I'm loving this right now. I'm loving it. I'd obviously, We'd like to win this one convincingly, so hopefully we don't blow a lead or anything like that, and I guess I'll just see you guys in there. Here on our home floor, about to close out the Minnesota Timberwolves in Game 5 of the NBA Finals. We are very pleased with the way this one has gone so far. I don't really have any complaints throughout these playoffs. I think we are pretty consistent. I don't think there's really ever been a moment where I was, extremely doubtful of our team or anything like that. So I guess we can talk about the actual Orlando Magic. Now, we've discussed them a bit to kind of open this video when we were going over the roster. It's clear to me that Jamal Mosley has a defensive game plan. What was really evident throughout the first 4.5 games, because that second half went to shit pretty quickly for Orlando, was that they were able to limit the Celtics' threes. And obviously the Celtics are an elite three-point shooting team. It's really kind of their bread and butter. It's what wins them basketball games. And they did a really good job of limiting the Celtics in that aspect. I don't remember, off the top of my head, a time that a shooter had a really open shot throughout games 1 through 4 and then half of game 5. So, for me, I think if they continue to kind of build that mold, even if you have to go out and get an offensive player who's maybe not as strong defensively, I know people are going to throw out names like Trae Young. I don't really see that happening. Maybe LaMelo Ball. But a player like that who can obviously provide a lot offensively, maybe is a little bit worse defensively than what your identity is. But you're going to have to kind of sacrifice something. There's not a lot of players in this league, especially at one of the guard spots, that's a super, super elite offensive option, a guy who can facilitate the hell out of the basketball and obviously play elite defense as well. Those guys don't just grow on trees. So, for me, I think they are going to have to give up something, defensively, but if it makes their offensive game kind of significantly better, I do think it would be very well worth it, because the last thing you want to do is kind of run this thing back. And again, Jalen Suggs helps out with all of this. I understand that. Jalen Suggs, again, is not prime, Steve Nash or not Tyrese Halliburton in today's game, but he does help. And so I do think that there is a move this offseason for Orlando. I don't know if it's at the magnitude of a Trae Young or a LaMelo Ball, but I really hope that their GM does not blow this opportunity, because it's not often you have two players that are as young as Paolo and Franz and are already as good as that duo. So that's going to wrap this one up here. We're obviously getting ourselves a championship. Year 2 comes to a close. A fantastic way to cap it off. Paolo Banchero, not putting up 30 points a game or anything like that, but a pretty solid series out of him outside that three-point shooting. Also, I saw it there quickly in Paolo's numbers. Why can the Orlando Magic as a team not shoot free throws? Like, I understand they're not a great offensive unit at this moment. They pretty much have two guys who are consistent offensive players, and that's it. But why on earth, as a professional basketball team, are you shooting like 50% from the line in a playoff game? That kind of blew my mind a little bit. All right, we're entering the final offseason. I don't expect any major changes or anything like that. And considering our cap situation, I may be inclined to kind of just run this thing back. It genuinely might be our best option. I don't, again, see a reason to force anything. And I certainly don't love running things back. We had the 15th overall pick. Ooh, that's from the Nick Smith Jr. trade. All right. I'm looking to get a shooting guard or small forward, because I'm not saying Anthony Black's going to be gone, but if we are way over the cap, it's certainly a possibility. And, well, Caleb Holt just fell into my lap. So welcome to the team, Caleb. So I, of course, am still going to try to get Anthony Black back on this squad. But, if we are over the cap, I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. So are we able to? Yeah, didn't think so. But he does have 7 offers. None of them are really, real contracts. So I think my kind of game plan at this point is kind of just wait and see. I also could maybe move on from Jonathan Isaac, who's, entering his age 30 season. Certainly don't need to force the issue there, but if it's a possibility, I may have to take it. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of wait it out on Anthony Black. I'll, honestly wait with you guys, and we'll just see. Because it's certainly also possible that he just accepts disqualifying, because this game is so goddamn broken with all of their contracts. So why not? I'll just sit here, because he has a qualifying. Okay, he's going to, can I match that? This game is so broken. It genuinely perplexes me and makes no sense. All right, I'll try to make one other upgrade then, because obviously I don't really need Caleb Holt anymore. So if I move Isaac Holt, and not a second, how about a first? Any power forwards that are a little bit better? I mean, Obi Toppin, probably. Yeah, I'll take Obi Toppin. Welcome to the team. All right, I will see you guys at the start of the third and final season. We are feeling absolutely incredible after a awesome season that ended in a championship. Now, this offseason, we didn't really make many major changes, because why would we? This is a team that is obviously still relatively young, but we are a very established team. We are a very experienced group, and obviously have that championship under our belt as well. Jalen Suggs, Tyrese Maxey, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, Ivica Zubac, bench unit, Anthony Black, Gordon Mean, Nick Smith Jr., Obi Toppin, and Wendell Carter Jr., who kind of feel bad for. He went from starting center to 10th man, playing 10 minutes a night. Kind of just the way it works, considering what this team looks like. But yeah, we're in a really good spot. I'll see you guys at the end of the final regular season. It is another 60-plus win season here in Orlando. 62-20 is the final record. Technically, it's 2 games worse than last year. I'm not super worried about it. This is the second or third time I've seen Luka leave the Lakers for the Bulls. It's very interesting. I don't know why it's always the Bulls, but cool. I don't know who Brandon McCoy is, but congratulations on your Rookie of the Year. AJ DeBansa, good. There, he's in Oklahoma City. Coming off the bench, 6th man. Wemby Depoy, Chris Sinak, most improved. Luka also wins Clutch Player of the Year. And our guy Jamal Mosley winning his 2nd straight Coach of the Year. So, we're in another really good spot. Cleveland, and now at a minimum, we'll see them in the Eastern Conference Finals. And we did have the best record in basketball once again. So, we can talk about the numbers briefly. Nothing really jumping out at me. It's super crazy. It's kind of what I expect given how this team is constructed. And let's just go ahead and hopefully win another championship. Kyrie Irving, now a member of the Miami Heat. They have completely changed this team up. That is insane. Oh, shit. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to go game by game. Oh, we're up 3-0, so I guess that's a pretty easy sweep. Moving on to Detroit. Cade Cunningham's a superstar. Exum, Azar Thompson. They're playing Walker Kessler at the power forward spot. It would be 2027 at this point. That's certainly a choice. It's not a good one. Let's see what happens here in round number 2. We are up 2-0. 2-1. Okay, maybe that comment's going to bite me in the ass. Okay, we win. Now it is the Brooklyn Nets. We don't even see the Cavs for a 3rd straight season. Kevin Durant went back to Brooklyn. Oh, my God. I think they're sweepable. Okay, it's 5. And it is a rematch of last year's NBA Finals. I am so happy that I have not seen the Oklahoma City Thunder even once in this video. And honestly, this says a lot more about Anthony Edwards than anything. I mean, not that this is a bad team around him, but there's not a lot here in terms of elite scoring options outside of Ant. So I think, again, this is a pretty winnable series. I hope we don't... Okay, really? Come on, 2K. Up 3-2. Close them out here. God damn it. Going to game 7 at home. Always an absolute sweat. I'd rather not have to hop in and fight it out, but it might be a possibility at this point. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. I'll see you in there. 2 separate gameplays is not something I do often, mostly because I'm never really in a spot that would require it, but obviously here today we found ourselves in a situation. Thanks for falling asleep, Ant. All right, we've extended it to a 7-point game. We are... happy right now. We're feeling good, but we're certainly not content. I'd also like Paolo Banchero back in this game, if that's not too much to ask for there, Jamal. What? I'm looking at Paolo on the sidelines and seeing who's next to him because our stupid fucking head coach doesn't have our best player in the game with 3 minutes left to go in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. So that's what I was looking at right there when I fall asleep defending Anthony Edwards. Good God. Good fucking God. All right, well, the starting 5 is now back into the game. Not that it shouldn't have been in here in the first place. Again, great job, Jamal. Just elite coaching there. It is a 4-point ball game at this point with, 2:40 left. It's certainly not in the bag. I think we are obviously pretty happy. Why am I getting the easiest layups of all time? Is there just no rim pressure here from Minnesota? That's... Okay. I'm going to play off-ball defense, and I almost would prefer that Jalen Suggs be on Anthony Edwards. I think that makes, I need to find a way to adjust the defensive matchups. I really do. I think I have to do that when I'm on the defensive end, which might be a little tough, but I cannot possibly continue to allow Tyrese Maxey. No foul. Big rebound there from Zubats, puts that one up. How do I go matchup? No. Nope. There's a button somewhere. I don't know where it is. Good defense. Gonna miss that. Who's Wolf? Oh, brother. Okay, he misses. Okay, Paolo's got the ball. 1:45 on the clock. We are up by 6 at this point. Let's clear it out here because whoever this Wolf is, I don't think him guarding Paolo one-on-one is a good decision. So I'm just gonna kind of force the issue here. Kind of dribble, little spin move. Oh my God, Paolo just... Nope. Kick it out. Oh my God. Oh my God. Go get the rebound, Tyrese. Come on, man. And now I got to run with Anthony Edwards in transition. They're just going to go. What the hell did Rob Dillingham just do? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. The man got 11 fucking rebounds in a row because God knows why this team can't rebound the basketball. All right, I want Tyrese Maxey ball handling right now. I think his speed is really going to be beneficial towards us. So, nope. Pull it back out. Pull it back out. Now, Anthony Edwards is a really solid defensive player. I'm not going to run an ISO against him. I'm going to call for a screen. I think that's probably our best bet. So Zubats set the screen. Downhill inside to Zubats. Gets his shit stuffed. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh. everything that could have gone wrong there went wrong. It absolutely did. Okay. I need to waste the clock. I almost want to go for the 2-for-1. I think that's probably the smart thing to do, even though we are currently leading. I don't want to completely force it and waste the possession, but if I can get it to go, I think it would be a really nice option. Maxi, 3, dagger! Oh my God. Thank you, Tyrese Maxey. What an absolutely clutch shot in one of the biggest moments we could possibly have. Maxey just absolutely drilling that one, and that's huge. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I don't know if this is going to change anything at all. I'm actually going to go ahead and... No, I'm going to keep Franz in the game, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make some changes. I'm going to put Maxey at the 1, and I'm going to put Suggs at the 2. I think this way it'll allow Anthony Edwards to be defended by Suggs, which again is certainly my preference over Tyrese Maxey. Suggs is a significantly better defensive player, so I think this matchup makes the most sense for me. And at this point, obviously, we're pretty much aware of where the ball is going to be going. So trying to deny Ant the ball is kind of my one goal right now. They're going to kick it over to Rob Dillingham, who's going to actually get some space, steps back, and gets pretty much the easiest 2 points I've ever seen. And they still technically don't have to foul. So I don't know if they will. They are. They're going to foul. So we're going to be going to the line. Yes, we are in the bonus. So Anthony Edwards has got to... Anthony Edwards. Tyrese Maxey's got to knock down some free throws, and we can pretty much go on from there. First one is up is good. Obviously, that's the more important one. Extends it to a 2-possession ball game. Second one for Tyrese is up, and it is good as well. All right, they are going to take their final timeout. I'm going to leave this exactly the way that it was. I'm not going to make any changes. Again, I prefer to have Suggs on Anthony Black. Why can't I speak today? Anthony Edwards, good God. So let's just try to not let them get a look up here. If they miss this shot, we are 100% set, but... McDaniels, where is it? Is Anthony Edwards not in the game? Oh, was that his 6th foul? Oh my God, that's absolutely killer, and we've won this one. That's a brutal blow for the Timberwolves there at the end. Not only because it knocks Anthony Edwards out of the game, but technically, you didn't have to foul. There was like 27 seconds out of the 24 on the clock. So, you know, you would have got a look probably under 5 seconds, but still, that was brutal for them. Paolo Banchero winning 2 straight finals MVPs, truly a thing of beauty to see. And we capped this one off with our 2nd championship. All right, this one was a lot of fun. I think that year 1 was, you know, disappointing, but I think it was really good because obviously we continued to add to this team and we built just an absolutely loaded squad. So I had a lot of fun with this one. Again, I do apologize. I have no idea what day you're seeing this on. Also, if I'm not super active in the comment section this week, it's because I'm gone. Like, literally will not be probably on my phone throughout it. But, yeah, I hope everybody's enjoying the playoffs so far. I have no idea what's going on at this point in time when you're seeing this, but seems like a fun second-round matchups we're going to be having. So that'll do it for me. Let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. Of course, I'll note those down for once I do return from my trip. But, yeah, really big thank you to all of the support recently. So, all right, man, that'll do it. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.